want to become a master of manifestation, you must also become a master of removing resistance. This is one of the insights that I have learned from my own life and my own experiences, is that so much of manifestation is not about creating your reality or creating your manifestation. It is about lining up with the reality where your manifestation already exists. Because according to many spiritual teachers like Neville Goddard or Bashar, all realities, all timelines, all states of consciousness that you could possibly experience already exist in the quantum field. So if you look at this theory, you're essentially a stream of awareness that's existing in this quantum reality with all of these different potentials and timelines, and you are just focusing your awareness into the reality or timeline that you choose. So if this is true, then manifestation is not about creating the timeline that you want or the dream life that you want to live. It is instead taking your consciousness, your awareness, and focusing it into the reality or the timeline where you have your manifestation or you are experiencing your dream life. So basically, instead of creating your reality, you're choosing your reality with your awareness. And in this video, I wanted to shed a little bit of light on resistance and how the resistance that we may have to letting go of our old reality can actually be a major hindrance in keeping us from actually putting our awareness and our focused attention into our new reality, and therefore stepping into that state and experiencing that state in the 3D world. But before I dive deeper into this today, I do want to give you a quick channel update and a quick life update. One of my manifestations, my baby manifestation, has kind of really, just taken over a bit, and it's about ready to come into the world here. So it's taking a lot of my attention. So I am really trying to get my YouTube videos up as consistently as possible, but the last couple weeks, it has been a struggle. So I just want to thank you guys all for supporting the channel, and I apologize for the inconsistency in my upload schedule, and I also want to apologize for likely the continued inconsistency in my upload schedule as time goes on, and the baby is due in a couple of weeks, and so after I have this baby, there will likely be some inconsistencies in my uploading of videos. I will try to continue to post as consistently as possible here in the next weeks and months after he is born, but there may be a little bit of delays or inconsistency as I get the little dude up and running into his 3D reality. So when you are trying to manifest your dream life, you are likely setting an intention, and you are likely doing this through some sort of manifestation technique like SATs or affirmations or visualizations. And this, in my experience, typically works for a while. And then you start to encounter some resistance, which can be referred to as the ego backlash, which I've mentioned in previous videos, which means that basically your ego is just trying to revert you back to the old familiar states to keep you safe. What has been my experience, and what you guys may have experienced, is that when you get this resistance, you feel like, oh no, this is not good. I'm getting a lot of negative thoughts coming up, and I feel like I'm undoing my manifestation, right? I'm not thinking as if I already have my manifestation. I'm basically thinking of all of the old thoughts, and I'm stuck in the old state, and I'm not allowing myself to fully embody the new state and manifest, and so my manifestation isn't going to work. And so at this point, a lot of us will then continue to try to force ourselves back into the wish fulfilled, back into the manifestation. We'll go hard on doing more and more techniques and just try and force ourselves back into the state that we want to be in so that we can get our manifestation, right? But this doesn't, in my experience, work. When I try this, the resistance just gets bigger and bigger to the point where I feel like it almost takes over and I lose control and I just give up. And I just allow myself to be in the resistance, and I basically just take a break from manifesting for a while. And then I start again back with the manifestation techniques. And so for me, it's been kind of a cycle. So what I've realized is that manifestation, to become a master manifester, you must not only master the manifestation process, the visualization process, the shifting process of putting your awareness, your focused energy into your desired reality, but you must also master resistance, and working with resistance and releasing resistance in a healthy way where you are not forcing the resistance to go. Because when you are forcing the resistance to go, you are essentially putting your awareness and your focus on the resistance, right? And so the resistance then is growing, it is getting bigger, and then it takes over and becomes basically what you are manifesting. So in order to do this, to release resistance, we want to look at manifestation not as a one straight road to our manifestations, but instead we want to look at manifestation as a dance. So we want to accept that when we are going into a manifestation, when we are trying to make a big change in our life or shift to a timeline that is substantially different, a reality that is a lot different than the one that we have been embodying, we want to experience this as a dance. So we want to start out with focusing positively, doing our manifestation techniques, putting ourselves in the wish fulfilled, visualizing sats. And then when the resistance comes up, instead of resisting the resistance, we want to see it as like a 1-2 step, that the resistance is leading us to our manifestation. So here we would start to look at how we can understand the resistance. And we also want to look at how the resistance is actually bringing us to our manifestation. So we want to look at what the resistance is showing us, what limiting beliefs are coming up, what negative circumstances are arising in our 3D, what emotions we are feeling. We want to get really clear and really observant of what is actually coming up and what this resistance actually is. We want to allow ourselves to fully surrender to the resistance and understand the resistance. We want to become more comfortable with this resistance and accept this resistance as part of the manifestation process. Because the ultimate goal here is to take our awareness out of our current state or our current timeline or reality and shift it into the timeline or reality that already exists that we want to experience. And so in order to do this, we have to release any resistance or attachment that's keeping us stuck in the old reality. And so we would do this by fully understanding and becoming aware of the resistance so that we can then kind of disidentify from the resistance. We can see it, understand that we are the stream of consciousness. We are the I am consciousness, the operant power, as Neville Goddard would say. And we are just observing this resistance that was the state that we were previously embodying. And so that act of observing and becoming aware of the resistance will show us what it is, but also allows us to see ourselves as separate from the resistance. So then we can kind of choose to say, hey, I used to live in this old state, but I'm ready to embody a new state. Now I'm ready to let go of this resistance, and we can consciously choose to then shift our focus and our awareness into the new state, into that state of having what we want, that reality that we want to embody. And then we can keep our focus there, kind of dancing back and forth between when the resistance comes up, acknowledging it, understanding what it is, understanding that it's not us, choosing to let it go, and then choosing to step into the new state, the new reality. And so one very important note to understand here when you are doing this dance of manifesting consciously and letting go of the resistance that's holding you back, keeping you back in the old reality, is to understand that we may be using manifestation and these techniques, we may be overdoing some of these manifestation techniques as a form of trying to control our reality, right? We're trying to control our reality so that we can guarantee that we get what we want, and then we can guarantee that we avoid pain and we avoid what we don't want. When we cling so hard to controlling our reality, we are creating resistance. We are creating more resistance and more attachments, and it becomes this rigid thing. And then we are no longer trusting life, and we are no longer trusting ourselves to create the reality that we want to experience. Instead, we are desperately trying to control the world around us because we don't trust the universe. We don't trust ourselves. We don't trust that we're the operant power. So we have this need to control. So we have this need to desperately push the resistance away. We have this need to desperately do the manifestation techniques, find out new techniques, desperately watch manifestation videos, all of this. We are just rigidly clinging to the control of our reality because we don't actually trust the universe, and we don't actually trust ourselves, and we don't actually trust that we are the operant power. So it's really important to get to a place where you trust yourself and you trust the universe enough so that you can actually let go of control. You can let go of needing to use manifestation as a form of controlling your reality, and instead you can trust yourself and the universe to align you with the state that you want to embody, the state that you are asking for. And so the goal here is that you want to reach the place where you are feeling like no matter what is happening around you in your 3D, it is okay. You are surrendering to it. You are not in resistance to it. You are allowing it. You are understanding that because it is happening to you, there is a good reason that it is happening, and that it is actually leading you to what you want to manifest, to your dream reality, to the timeline that you are shifting onto. That no matter what is happening around you or inside you internally, it is always bringing you to what you want. Then you can step back and realize that you don't have to control the things in your 3D reality. You don't have to control the resistance in your mind, because you trust yourself as the operant power, and you trust the universe and how the universe is structured so deeply that you understand that once you set the intention to move your awareness into a new reality or a new timeline or a new state of being, that the universe is actually now moving you into that timeline, that your energy, your awareness is bringing you to the reality that you desire to embody. And so whatever is happening, both internally with resistance, negative thoughts, feelings, beliefs coming up, as well as externally, if there's any unwanted circumstances in the 3D, are all a bridge of events that are bringing you to your timeline, to your desired reality. And so whatever happens is always bringing you to what you want. And so that's your belief. And when you believe that, when you fully understand that, you are able to let go of the rigid control of needing to manifest and needing to let go of resistance and do this technique and this technique. And when you let go of that control, you are letting go of the resistance, that attachment that has actually been keeping you stuck in the old state. And so you will naturally move quicker into the new state by allowing anything that appears to be unwanted to mean to you that you are moving into the new state, to assign the meaning that anything that is happening is actually bringing you to what you want. And then of course, because whatever we assume becomes fact, when you assume that all of these things are bringing you to what you want, they will bring you to what you want, and it will be a lot faster. And so when you assume a positive meaning like this to any unwanted scenarios that may come up in your life, you are then allowing yourself to release the resistance and the control and move that much quicker into your desired state or your desired reality. So when you start to notice some of this resistance coming up, either in your own mind from your ego or from the external, from the 3D reality, you can ask yourself, as much as this is not what I want, as much as I do not like this, how is it possible that this is happening for me? How is it possible that this is going to benefit me in some way? How is it possible that this could lead me to what I want? And so you want to use the insight that you gain from asking yourself these questions to allow yourself to release resistance and attachment to what is happening that appears to be against your manifestation or appears to be holding you back from your manifestation. You want to use this awareness to release resistance and release your energy, your awareness from the old unwanted state so that you can put it on the new state or the new timeline that you're trying to shift into. And by allowing these events or this resistance to be viewed as stepping stones to what you want, they will become stepping stones to what you want, and you will get to what you want faster. So this is a great way to speed up your manifestations and get rid of time delays so that you're manifesting things a lot quicker and you're not getting stuck in these loops of manifesting frantically, feeling good for a few weeks, and then getting sucked back into a negative ego backlash for a few weeks and going back and forth, constantly delaying your manifestation. This is a great way to end that and manifest a lot faster. And if you like this video and you're interested in learning more about how to get started on your manifestation journey, check out my video here, my simple and fast manifestation morning routine. In this video, I'll explain to you my current manifestation routine that I'm seeing a lot of success with, and it will allow you to manifest your desires and step into that state of feeling like you have your manifestation with very little resistance and very little effort.